It's the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast. Each month, we take a look at the performing arts scene in the Rogue Valley and visit with the artists who bring the shows to life. From Camelot Theater in Talent, here's your host, Brian O'Connor.
Welcome to a special episode of Where Broadway Meets Talent. We are taking you behind the scenes of Camelot Theater's newest production of Daddy's Dyin, Who's Got the Will? Now, we are recording this during the opening night after party, and we are going to be talking with the incredibly talented cast of the show and the playwright himself, Del Shores, who has been in town all week with us here. And so it's really an honor to have everyone here tonight. Thank you for checking us out. So join us as we dive into the heart of this Southern comedy, exploring the making of the show and the creative genius behind it. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy this fun-filled conversation from opening night of Daddy's Dyin, Who's Got the Will? So we are going to get things started right now with Del Shores, who is visiting us this week. This is his show that we just opened, and Camelot Theater's artistic director and one of the stars of Daddy's Dyin, Who's Got the Will, Gwen Overland. Thank you both for joining me tonight.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
So Del, welcome to Camelot and Southern Oregon.
Thank you. What a gorgeous city and what a beautiful theater and such an amazing community that I stepped into.
Yeah. I want to talk about, obviously, Daddy's Dyin, Who's Got the Will? First produced almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, that's incredible.
I'm so old.
Oh, no, you are not. You look fantastic.
Well, I was fishing.
Tell me a little bit about what do you think has kept this story so relevant and so resonant with audiences today?
Well, you know, it was kind of wonderful to step into the lobby after the show, and probably 5 people said, "You wrote my family." And I think that, I guess it just means that dysfunction is alive and well. And, you know, we all go home, and I think a lot of us feel, I mean, if you take every single character feels displaced in this play. You know, even Sarah Lee, who is in her home, she's like begging to be noticed and to be acknowledged for what she's done.
Right.
And I think that we all can relate to at least one character.
Yeah. I think you're right. And we saw the audience reaction tonight, and it was
And if
there.
we don't have a Mama Wheeless, we wish we did.
Yeah, right. So, Gwen, you do play Mama Wheeless in the show, and you've known Del. You two have known each other a very long time. I want to talk about how you met and when you first worked together.
Oh, you'll be surprised by this. We met at church.
Really?
Yes, the First Baptist Church of Beverly Hills.
Okay.
And,
Which was in West Hollywood. That's
Yeah.
how pretentious the church was.
Yes, the hot seat of the gay culture, you know. So, but it was we both acknowledged that we were theater people, and I was kind of unaware, and Del was more aware because of the people he was in contact with in the industry, and he invited me to do some industry auditions, and he wrote little scenes for me and different people so that we could do them and get behind him. And through him, I got agent, and then later when he took the Daddy's Dyin to Seattle, he called me up right away and asked me if I wanted to reprise Sarah Lee. Well, I got up there, and there were so many, well, not so many, but there were several good Sarah Lees, but I didn't see a Lurleen. I don't think they did either. So they asked me to read for Lurleen. I read for Lurleen. I got the role, and then once again, our relationship kind of cooked again. And that's it, you know.
But she was in the first production I ever wrote. She was the original cast. She's in the Samuel French playbook.
Oh, wow.
As Sarah Lee in my play Cheatin'.
Oh, that's great.
So we played boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh.
I was cheating on her. It was Clarence Hopkins.
Yeah.
Yes, he's mentioned a lot in this play.
Yeah.
As that wandering everything.
It's so interesting how it has all come full circle for you, Gwen, now to be able to come in and play Mama Wheeless in this production.
Yes.
So Del, when you watch a new production of Daddy's Dyin at a theater like Camelot, What are you most curious to see?
You know, here's what I do. I try to step into any time that I go into a production of any of my plays. I go to a place of celebration that it's still being told, that the story is still being told, and I try to not go in with too much judgment. I want to celebrate what they've brought to the piece. Now, Gwen asked me to collaborate some with the director, and I'm always I'm a director, so I don't really like people telling me what to do. So I respect the director, and I never talk to cast members outside of the director unless the director allows me to. So with Russ, it was such a great collaboration. I think we all have to kind of let go of our egos and just and go, okay, we all want the same thing. You know, basically, we want the story to be told. We want the audience to laugh and to feel and maybe shed a tear. And to stand up at the end. You know, and they did tonight.
Yes.
And they did every night I've been here. So it was, and sometimes you have to let go of preconceived ways that it was done before. You go, okay, I had that. Let's see what they bring to it.
Yeah. So you were here the whole week with the cast as we went into our final dress rehearsal and our previews. Any favorite moments with the cast this week that you look back on and, you know?
You know, I favorite moments for me are always, I mean, one of it is just tonight. It just all came together. It just, you know, it's when you go, oh, it works. And that's what previews are for. That's what rehearsals are for. But, you know, when you see an actor grow, I love to see an actor grow. And just little things that you say, like I said to Russ, and I said, may I have this moment with this actor so I could tell them what I think this moment could be. And then you see it delivered on stage. It's like when it comes back to you. Those are my moments. Then, you know, I had one with tonight because Gwen and I had we did an interview today, and I said, oh, you know, because I'm a laugh whore, and I said, there's a laugh you're missing. You got you know, if you will pause after you say, when she says, how's Mrs. Fenwick? Oh, honey, she's dead. If you just, because she was going, oh, honey, she's dead. Eat up with cancer. But I said, if you pause right before eat up with cancer, you're going to get a laugh. You did.
I know. It's staying in the show.
You know, you give an actor a laugh, it never leaves.
Right.
It's like,
right.
They're like, yeah.
Well, and that's the joy of doing a piece of Dell's, because he has a comic touch that when you get so busy knowing that you've got 240 lines that you got to come up with, and most of them are non sequitur. Thanks a lot, Dale. To have that kind of, you know, that extra little moment. Because I enjoy comedy, I do good at it, but I'm teachable, and to have somebody to have that kind of genius is so.
It's
so
not
wonderful.
my genius. It honestly isn't. It's somebody that preceded you. It's the great Molly McClure,
that's right,
who created that.
Yes.
And the way she was so sharp with that moment that I just stole from Molly, who is no longer with us. So you honored the great Molly McClure tonight. When you did her line.
Sure.
Because I didn't write it that way. It's like I always feel like that an actor can elevate my work. Molly was an example.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it works.
Yeah. So there's some very funny moments and some very heartfelt moments in this play. How do you balance those when you're writing and walk that line?
I don't. I really don't. I mean, people always, critics and people who have talked to me about my work, they always go, how do you do that? How do you balance the tones? How do you create from, you know, going from tears to laughter and back again? And I go, I don't know. I really don't. I just tell the story. And that's how the story comes out for me. And it's not deliberate on any level.
You've written for both stage and screen. What do you love about the immediacy of theater that's different from film and TV?
Well, I just love that, you can have a phone continue to go off during a phone call, and an actor may or may not deal with it. I love live theater because you really don't know what's going to happen,
Right.
And you don't know what the audience is going to do. We had a woman tonight that was sort of talking back. She was so into it, she was talking back. Those are some of my favorite moments where, I remember in my play Yellow, there was a big drop at the end of it, a revelation. And I just remember in one blackout right before intermission, this woman goes, "Well, I didn't see that coming." Those are my moments. That's what I love about theater. You don't get that in a movie, you just don't.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So I have to ask this, and either one of you can jump in with this. If Daddy's Dyin' had a sequel, what would the Turnover family be up to now?
I guess they'd be coming in for Mama Wheelis' funeral. What does she have left? Who gets that brooch?
I have the brooch, and some cookware.
Do you think that brooch is real? She thinks it's a diamond.
No.
I don't think Buster
No.
gave her a real brooch.
No. Well, they might want her gun. That would be her shotgun.
It would be interesting. So many years ago, I don't know if you weren't around then, but when we did Daddy's Dyin' at Theater, we had this lovely couple that ran the theater, Jeff and Nicolette, and they had this 8-year-old daughter. And she came to me one day and she said, I have the sequel to Daddy's Dyin'. And she goes, "I think that Sarah Lee should adopt a baby. I just feel so bad for her." An 8-year-old.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
She just felt like that Sarah Lee was going to be lonely.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I feel like this story is kind of complete.
Yeah, I do too.
It feels that way to me too.
Yeah.
I just, people always ask me, "Oh, do you think Marlene and Harmony are going to make it?" And I go, "Probably not." but at least she got away from that man.
Yeah, that goofball.
You adapted this for the screen.
I did.
And it starred some great people, Beau Bridges, Beverly D'Angelo, Tess Harper, Judge Reinhold, and several others.
Well, great actors, not all great people.
Well, okay, I should say, let me rephrase that. Great actors. What was that?
Mostly great people.
Yeah.
You said Judge Reinhold, and I don't know why I went there.
There's a story there somewhere. But
More than one.
More than one. What was that process like for you? And what was it like to see it come to life on the screen after it was done?
It was a magic time of my life because Daddy's Dyin' opened, and Gwen was with me where I was still handing out passes to movies to make a living.
Right.
When we were doing Cheatin'. And Daddy's Dyin', I'd started working as an actor a little bit more, but when Daddy's Dyin' took off, my career took off as a writer. So the acting sort of dissipated, and I was fulfilled in being a writer and then later a director. And when that movie was greenlit, it was so easy. It was one of those weird times in my life where, I got a deal at Warner Brothers to develop television. At the same time, I got this manager, Bobby Edrick, who represented Sissy Spacek and her husband, and Sissy came to see the play. He had a deal at Propaganda, and he said, "I want to do this movie." I'd already written the movie. I handed it to him, and they never changed a word. They just greenlit it.
Wow.
And it was just one of those. MGM then came on board and distributed it. And I thought, oh, this is the way it's going to be. This is the way it's going to be. And it's not that way at all. You suddenly, you go, okay, you know what? You pay your dues early. You pay them throughout.
Yep.
There's ups and downs always.
Yeah.
But it was really a beautiful time for me, and for me to have been such a fan of Sissy's and to love Coal Miner's Daughter and to have dinner with Beverly and she said yes, and then all of a sudden I saw Beau Bridges on the Academy Awards, and I thought, oh, he would be right for Orville. And I told Jack, and they made the call, and he read the script. He said yes. Judge Reinhold, who was not a nice person, but he was a great actor, his ex-girlfriend took him the script because ICM, the agent, wouldn't give it to him because it was too low budget, and dropped it on his porch, and he said yes. And so all of this starts coming together. Tess Harper, who I loved in Tender Mercies, it was like this like kid from Texas, dreams just started coming true.
Wow.
And so you step on, you're 28 years old and you step on a set and you go, wow, this is the way it's going to be forever. And it's not.
Sure.
But it was a beautiful, wonderful time in my life. And I'm still good friends with Beau. I'm still good friends with Beverly. So I made some good friends along the way. I'm still good friends with Jack and Sissy.
And with Gwen Overland.
And with Gwen, who preceded all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daddy's Dyin, Who's Got the Will, is here at Camelot Theater through July the 6th. Get your tickets now at camelottheater.org. This is definitely a show you do not want to miss. Del Shores, thank you so much for being here tonight and for spending the week with us. It's been a joy to get to know you.
And loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And Gwen, great to have you with us too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll see you Monday
morning.
morning.
And come support
at the
theater.
office.
Yes, come support this theater, but come support all theater.
That's right.
Because we are doing amazing work in community theater and beyond. It's an art form that we must fight for. And keep.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you both.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It is the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast. I am now joined by Jaden Berg, who plays Orville Turnover, Grace Angelucci, who plays Evelita Turnover, and Finlo Laney, who is Sarah Lee Turnover in Daddy's Dyin, Who's Got the Will. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Brian.
So how was this process with Del Shores, the actual writer and producer of this play, being here all week with you? What was that like?
Scary. A little nerve-wracking, that's for sure.
Yeah,
can we measure up to the other characters that he's seen throughout the years? Like,
how many productions has he seen and who is the best? It's me. Let's be real.
100%. The most punchable Evelita.
Yeah. Wow. Valid, but how dare you?
I don't know. I feel like the best way to go about something like that is just kind of forget he's there. Just do it as you would regardless.
Right.
Because if you start thinking about it, you're going to get in your head and you're going to start changing things and you're going to make changes that, shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Sure.
Just, who's Del? What Del? Where?
Now, see, that's the correct answer. No, the real answer we all have is, I know, he's a wonderful person, though. He's incredibly kind, and he helped us discover more character work when he came in after talking with us and then talking to each of us individually, which was very kind.
Right. So, what was your first reaction when you read the script? And did you immediately connect with your characters? Or did that take some work?
Well, that's a funny question. When I auditioned for this show, I had not read it yet. I only got the script after I was fully cast. And I had auditioned based on the premise that this was, just going to be a comedy. I had just finished doing Frankenstein over at the Modern Prometheans. Very dark, very dramatic. I'm like, okay, I want to lighten this up a little bit. And so I auditioned for this show. And then I read it, and I'm like, oh no, this is really heavy again.
With some comedic
there's jokes here. There's jokes for sure. It's hilarious. But then you get these moments where it's like, dang, like that hits. Like it's about a guy with dementia and he's, his family's struggling to keep it together in his final moments. It can get rough in there, but it's good. I've really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. What about you, Finlo?
Well, oh gosh. I first read the script and my first thought was, yes, I get a crying monologue. I've been mostly ensemble up until this point and the last show that I did here, Harvey. So it was really nice to have a chance to dig into a character outside of school.
Right.
I graduated a couple of years ago, and so just using my training on this has been so much fun. And going into the research of Low-Wakey, because Low-Wakey is an unincorporated community of Texas, that currently has, well, as of 2001, has a population of about 20 people.
Yeah.
So, we're like, oh, we're making all of this up. Okay.
Right.
But it's been great.
Yeah.
Create Loeki as a community.
If we went there, we'd increase the population by like 50%.
We will it into existence.
We will incorporate this community.
So, Grace, you play a very colorful character, literally and figuratively. You got the cool hair going with the purple and everything else. Tell me about Evelita.
Evelita's kind of, can I cuss on this show?
I can bleep you out. That's fine.
Great. Evelita's kind
That's going to be a lot of people.
yes, sorry, habit. Yeah, I'm incredibly lucky because I've performed around the valley. But it's all been singing, which is my lifeblood, work and training. I love it. But this is my first actual show in the valley since high school, and Evelita is such a character to make a debut with because you are making out with people on stage. You're getting into fist fights with your siblings. You're being a, to quote Sarah Lee, a 2-bit whore. It's an experience, and I've had so much fun just jumping into it.
Right.
It's so weird to get to, because I'm also the baby in my family, so it's so weird to get to jump into another baby who's just not nice.
Right.
I love her.
I think it's safe to say the Turnover family is complicated, right?
Vastly.
What was it like building that dynamic with your fellow castmates on stage?
We're very lucky in this group because we all found out that we're getting into it kind of in a similar rate. I think I was the last one to find out because I was a last minute cast. But we've all worked together on separate occasions with different theaters before. Some of us are roommates. Some of us are partners. And so we kind of had a really good start because half of us knew most of our life stories and everything already. So it's just adding in the Turnover vibe into what we already had.
It does definitely help to, when you're doing those either like intimate or violent or any sort of scene like that, when you don't have to worry about like, oh, is this other, human being going to think I'm an asshole because I'm, my character is trying to hit them. When it's like, when it's a friend, it's like, oh yeah, they know me. I can be as mean as I want. And they know I'm not actually mean.
Right.
I hit you with a shoe every day.
Exactly. Roommates.
Yeah. Watching all this family dysfunction on stage it's fun until your partner goes up there and starts physically abusing someone. Like, I can't watch Orville on stage. It's like I can separate it, but it just feels weird.
Well,
feels
it's interesting
very weird.
because my impression, and I don't know Jaden very well, but you're like a gentle giant. I see you as
Absolute
that.
teddy
That's the
bear.
vibe I like to give off.
Yeah, and you do. And so Orville, not so much.
You ever see The Princess Bride?
Oh, yeah.
That's Jaden.
Yeah.
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 No, but I think you do such a great job at it. It is, you kind of go, whew. You see some of the things you're up there doing because, and
It's terrifying.
it can be. It can be. But there's some touching moments there, too, with that character as well. But, definitely. Everybody in the show just does such a great job. And, I mean, it really looks like, anybody's family in a way. I mean, I think that's, when Del was talking earlier with us, he said that's the one thing that people can relate to in this play. You walk out and, that was somebody in my family. That was somebody, so yeah. And it looks very relatable on stage.
It's incredibly relatable, just as the person in the show. Lindsay, who plays Lurleen Turnover, is word for word my aunt, just in general, just a little less cleanly.
Right.
And it's really awkward to like see her step out of the way. I'm like, you're not going to yell at me for a hair on the counter anymore. Right. Yes. Awesome. Great.
Is there a certain line or a certain moment in the play that hits you differently every time you perform it?
When I go up to the front and I'm shouting about how I've always been here in Podunk Loeki. I've been in Medford my entire life, and most of my friends from high school, my sibling, and everyone have left. And I'm planning on leaving, but I see everyone living their lives out there in places bigger than here. And I understand. One of the reasons that I've been staying is because my dad's health has not been very good. So being in the show where my dad's health is not very good has been really therapeutic, and also like I love Sean very, very much. I wouldn't do this with anyone else.
Sean Warren, by the way, plays
Buford.
Buford. Yeah.
Daddy.
So there's some really good parallels in there. And that line, it gets me differently every night with how hard it's hitting, and what's happening in my own life that day.
Right. What about you, Grace? Is there a moment that hit you a little bit differently?
So many.
Yeah.
Not to trauma dump on podcasts, but I've not had a happy family life. So Orville is basically my actual dad, and it's tough to live through that every night. But it's exposure therapy in a way, because there's also a whole lot of things that I've noticed in the show and the script that I can put into my own family. Like I've tussled a lot with my own sister, whom I love dearly, and it's. I love you, Finlo. It's nice to get to have that moment on stage where the baby sister gets to hug little sister or big sister at the end and just be happy and friends. So it's not really a line that gets me. It's that hug at the end that I finally get.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the same scene for me, Orville's got that line where he says, Marlene used to tie my tie. Marlene, I never meant to hurt her. And, when you're playing this, piece of shit character, you got to kind of latch on to anything that like, okay, yeah, I can relate to that, That's my point of like, okay, yeah, this guy is actually a human being. He's not just a stock character. He's not a cartoon villain. Like there is something here to latch on to.
Yeah.
So having a line like that is very important for this character.
There's depth.
Right.
Layers like an onion.
Layers like an onion.
Like a parfait.
Layers.
Definitely a lot of layers in this show,
So
which runs through July 6th here at Camelot Theater. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets at camelottheater.org. They're going to be going fast. They already are going fast. We had a great opening weekend, so there are just a few weekends left. Again, I want to thank our guests. We have Grace Angelucci. Thank you. Finlo Laney and Jaden Berg. Thanks for joining me tonight.
It's a pleasure to be on.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much.
It is the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast, opening night for Daddy's Dyin, Who's Got the Will. Now joining us, we have Lindsay Nashington, who plays Lurleen Turnover, Sean Warren, who plays Buford Daddy Turnover, Shannon Carter, Marlene Turnover, and Alan P. Jones II, who plays Harmony Rhodes. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Great crowd tonight, and I thank you for coming in here. I know I'm stealing you away from the after party that is going on out in the lobby. But I want to talk to you about the show and about your characters and your experience so far. Lindsay, tell me about your character, Lurleen.
Yeah, Lurleen is the oldest of the Turnover siblings, and she's in a little bit of a hot spot with people because she and her husband sort of left the family business, and she's returning after a several-year absence, so that's a whole thing. She's not quite sure how she's going to be received.
Sean Warren, no stranger to Camelot's stage. You play Daddy Turnover in the show. Tell us about Buford.
Well, Buford is sort of a self-appointed patriarch who has had a stroke and is struggling to be sentient and to actually wind up his affairs because he's been told he's going to die, but he can't remember where he's put his will that he had taken from the lawyer, and to make some changes, and nobody knows what those changes would be, and so he starts to become sentient, and then he loses it. He never manages to make whatever change it was. So I'm the only one that knows what the change is.
Shannon Carter, you are also no stranger to Camelot. You play Marlene Turnover. Tell me about Marlene.
So Marlene is Orville's wife. Don't know if you talked to Orville, but
We did. Yeah, he was here a little bit ago.
So he's real mean to
Yes, he said that.
Marlene.
I called Jaden the gentle giant in real life, but on stage it's like, ooh, scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is awesome to play across from Jaden, though, because when you are playing a character who's really scary, it's nice to know that the actor themselves is a very, very safe man, very kind. So it's great. It's been great working with him. But yeah, Marlene just wants to be loved, and she is searching for that attention and does not have a great relationship with Orville. And the reason being is because Orville learned that bad behavior from the family. So it's a lot of fun, messy family dynamics, and Marlene's just trying to figure out her place in it.
Okay. Alan P. Jones II, you are making your Camelot debut, correct?
Yes, I am.
So welcome to our main stage, and you play Harmony Rhodes in the show. Tell us about Harmony.
Harmony is a really interesting character, and despite my outward appearance, I don't think I've ever played a hippie before. So this is very interesting. He's such a fun, unique character. He has certain sensitivities about himself, certain barriers that he keeps like deep within. He doesn't show outward, but he tries to be the sort of everyman, or some sort of bridge between people, just to connect. Someone that's definitely had a rough past, and in trying to sort of move past it and find a better future for himself, he tries to uplift and bring that same sort of positive energy to all the others he meets. Mm-hmm. And it's just been a very fun character to explore and to experience. Just this fish out of water from California in a West Texas town, just trying to find his place and just vibe, I guess.
Right. So I asked this question to the last group that was here. This family, the Turnover family, they are very complicated, obviously. What was it like building the relationships during rehearsals with your fellow castmates?
This is such a great group of people. I feel like we all came into this process with such an open mind about exploring dynamics, and Russ was amazing at guiding that too. So I felt like, at least on my end, that there was such a sense of comfort in that exploratory space, and that we were able to find the layers and the depth.
I agree. I think Russ cast the show perfectly. It's such a great group of people. It's been very interesting having worked with some of these people before in a very different capacity. And, I feel like we find new things every night, really. Mm-hmm. New little cliques, new family dynamics.
How did that dynamic between you and Jaden, who plays Orville in this, because there's some intense moments on stage with you two. How did that develop during rehearsal? You said you felt very safe because obviously he's a very kind person in real life. And so how did that process work?
Yeah. All of the violence we talked about before anything was done, any grabbing. So blocked it, mapped it out, talked about it. And then after every time we run it, we check in. Just, was that good for you? Any changes need to happen? And then at the end of the show, we have a little sweet treat to get out of character and go back to just being pals who like to do theater together.
So this is for anybody. What was your first reaction to the script when you finally got to read the full story?
I had two reactions. When I was offered the part, I had read the script, and there's that spectacularly beautiful Act 2, Scene 1 that I get to be a part of, and I said, okay, I'll do it. But boy, these people are so cranky, and the language. I mean, they didn't go to school, and I kind of was a little snooty about it, and then we had our first table read in this very room, and as it came off the page into people's voices, it was so funny and so emotional, and it was a whole different script off the pages, and it was really a thrill.
Can I be real and contribute? I had no idea how funny this show was until we had our audience tonight.
So true. Yeah.
It is interesting what an audience will do after, all your rehearsals and dress rehearsals and everything. Then you get live people, and yeah, it was pretty amazing. The last couple of nights, especially tonight being opening, it was this audience. Yeah, and there were actually people. Now we don't encourage this, but people talking back to some of the characters at one point, which
So
was
funny.
pretty
So funny.
We were talking to Del Shores, who has been here all week, and he was delighted. He said people are reacting so heavily to it. They forget it's not TV. It's not, but that is true.
But I think that's a tribute to his writing too, because those characters are real and we're very true to the characters, and the audience sees that and they feel like they're a part of it, which is amazing to get that reaction.
Yeah. So Del Shores, as I mentioned, and we talked to him earlier, the playwright of Daddy's Dyin'. He's written for the screen. He's written for the stage. He's produced. He's done everything. He's had an incredible career. And the fact that he came to Talent and spent the week with us here at Camelot. What was that like for all of you as cast members in one of his shows to have him in the room?
Scary.
Terrifying.
Yes, but he is so kind and encouraging. And when we had there, I don't know, I think everybody got a chance to talk with him a little bit about their part, and he would make little hints about what he was thinking when he wrote it, and it was incredibly kind and affirming about what we were doing. He seemed really happy with it, and so it was. I liked it a lot.
I mean, it's like a once in a lifetime experience too. Like, how many people get the experience that we just got?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, just his kindness and seeing him be so joyful to see his friend Gwen in the show as well. It was an incredible experience.
And he's incredibly wickedly funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely. Did he give you any one piece of advice that you really have taken to heart?
Project.
Yeah.
No, not really. He didn't take that on as his role,
right,
for being here. I think he talked probably more with Russ than he did with us, and because Russ is our director, and I think he really honored that. But just little bits. I like how he would help people ease into a character in a different way without giving them a direction. And so that's as close as I can get to that.
Yeah.
I think for me, it was the pacing, because it's so easy to find those moments and you're like acting, but you need to act on the line. And sometimes we got caught up in like the moment that we were sharing with each other as those characters on stage, but the comedy of it is the timing.
Yeah.
And that was probably the biggest takeaway for me.
Why should people come and see this show, and what do you think audiences will take away from watching this production?
I think the characters are very relatable. So I think there is some opportunity for some cathartic experiences for almost every human that would see this show.
Yeah.
Without giving anything away.
Sure.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Every character has their own individual arc, and every character is different at the end of the show than they were at the beginning, which is a very real thing as people go through things in life. That happens for everybody, and there's something about this apparently wildly dysfunctional family, and yet as we get to the end, that family nest that they have built over the years is something that stays with them. They can't help it, and it's very beautiful. As funny as it is, it's really touching the way the emotion of the piece comes out in a real surprising way.
Again, thank you to Lindsay Nashington, Sean Warren, Shannon Carter, and Alan P. Jones II. Thank you for coming in tonight and joining us. I'll let you get back to your party.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm now joined by Camelot Theater's Executive Director, Dan Hauser, here on opening night for Daddy's Dyin', Who's Got the Will?
Yeah, what a fun night. Yes.
Oh, boy. What a great audience tonight.
I tell you, we had a great crowd. The audience, the cast, everyone was just amazing. It was a fun evening at the theater.
It really was.
Yep.
And we were so blessed to have Del Shores here all week with us at the theater. This is his play, his baby that, you know, he wrote almost 40 years ago.
Yeah,
and
the funny thing was, I may have said this earlier, but he did it from his family experience. All the characters are part of his family.
Right.
And he said that the one that's kind of the loose woman in the show was his aunt, and she took some friends to go see it. And he started out telling the whole audience this, and he said that after she went to see the show, she didn't speak to him for like 3 years.
Oh, boy.
And he said, I lost my family over this, and I said, hey, but now you've got a new family, and this thing's gone on for all these years, and it is still relevant and funny and timely, and it's just... It's really a great show, great piece of copy.
It's one you don't want to miss. And I know we say that a lot, but this is one of those. I mean, you look at the audience reaction all week long and people are just, they are raving about this on their way out the door.
I agree. You know, we've billed this as a comedy, and it's very funny. There's a lot of jokes about the Texans in there and just the comic, but there's a lot of really poignant periods in there where you get some real strong emotions and family ties. And it's just the way he weaves that together. Dell's just done a really nice job on this story.
Absolutely.
So
and Russell Lloyd directed this production, and outstanding job. And that's one thing Dell was very respectful of. He said, you know, I'm a director. I don't want people telling me what to do. And so, you know, when he came into this, but he had some glowing words for Russell in an email the other day that, and the cast. I mean, he's so happy with this production.
This is Russell's debut at Camelot for directing, and he did a stellar job. And I just know we're going to see more from him next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
great to work with. Great director and a great actor too. He's got a very impressive resume.
You know, and he got a lot of things thrown at him. Like we had one of the actors twisted her ankle a couple days before we had our dress rehearsal, and he had to do a little changing. And actually, Dell helped that too. They wrote a few new lines into the script to indicate that she had kicked the dog badly and twisted her leg or hurt her leg, but. I got to give the actor credit because she, like a trooper, they were incredible for the whole show.
Yeah.
And they carried on.
Yep.
And it worked, and it just became part of the character. And it was great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Daddy's Dyin', Who's Got the Will? It runs through July 6th. Get your tickets at CamelotTheater.org. Again, a show that you have to see. You don't want to miss this. It is absolutely incredible.
Yes, I agree.
All right. Dan Hauser, Executive Director for Camelot, thank you for dropping in.
Thank you, Brian. We'll see you on the next show.
You will.